Okay, everybody here? How's that look?
Everybody's taking a picture without jamming. What are you hiding for? This is not going to go on the post office wall.
We've got some very, very special guests. We have a couple of dedications later on, so just sit back and relax. But before we begin, I'd like to bring in, which is my honor to do so, is bring in Johnson High School Band and Chorus, if they would come in and they're on somewhere. This way, Councilman Pinicelli doesn't have to sing. Have a round of applause. Would everyone please rise for the national anthem? There's a flag behind you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, moon's broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ended, the bombs bursting in, they flew through the night as our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. The Johnson High School Chorus and the direction of the music director, Lisa Batson. Thank you very, very much. I think we have to pinch ourselves. We're finally here. First of all, let me welcome the Green family and the Fagnoli family. Thank you for being here today. Today is truly a special day for our town and for our citizens. This day has been long overdue. A special thanks goes to the taxpayers who voted to approve a question on the ballot about 2.5 years ago, allowing us to spend their hard-earned money to float a bond to build a brand new library. That question was passed, ladies and gentlemen, by greater than 64% of those who voted that year, so I thank them. A special thank you to the staff of the library for their patience, their hard work, informing the public on why a new library was so badly needed. And a special thanks to the Mohr Friends of the Library and the Board of Directors. They have been real strong advocates of this building, needless to say. I want to also thank the entire staff because they really, during the election time, really pushed this and really talked to the voters how important it was that we have a brand new library. To the guests here today, we have Senator Reed. Thank you for coming, Senator. Senator Whitehouse. We have Congressman Cicilline. We have a Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Roberts. And also, I must mention, as I call them, my Super Bowl team, the Johnson Town Council and the School Committee, as well as our General Assembly delegation, members of the School Committee, Representatives Carnaval, Filella, Petrarca, and Ucci. Also, Senator Frank Lombardo, and, of course, as I mentioned earlier, my dear friend Elizabeth Roberts, our Lieutenant Governor. Governor, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. But our special guest today, this is really a special treat for us. And it's a true honor and a pleasure for me to have her here. And that's Director Susan Hildreth. She's the Director of the Museums and Libraries for the entire country. And she took time out of her busy schedule. Director, thank you very much. This project obviously has been going on for about 11 years, a little before I got here. And after years of promises made, promises kept, promises broken, as they say, our dream has finally come true. I remember when I first took over years ago as mayor, it was a financial difficult time, to say the least. Our town was financially unhealthy. We had over a $9 million deficit, including a huge structural deficit. And I knew we needed a new library. And at that time, we couldn't afford it. And time was running out for us. And of course, our state agency owes, we have a couple of special guests that I'll introduce in a couple of moments. They were very patient with us. Their patience, I think, was running out, though, because they kept giving us waiver after waiver after waiver, because we were breaking some state laws by not having enough size, enough space for our library, and we were in jeopardy of losing our state reimbursement. So we knew we had a totally inadequate library for, obviously, today's standards, and we were concerned about being shut down. I met with those members of OLS who are here today, and that was Karen Meller and Howard Boxenbaum. Would you please stand? And I want to thank you for your patience and your sacrifice. Thank you very much. As I said to them, I need one more waiver. They rolled their eyes. I didn't realize they gave about 20 waivers before that, but they rolled their eyes, and they said, okay, we'll give you a waiver. They knew, they were very gracious. They knew we were working, myself along with the town council, that we would put a library together. And I did promise them that with the help of the council and the residents, we would build one, and it was behind it. My administration, obviously, was the first administration to put a question on the ballot before the taxpayers. It was a referendum question, as I spoke about earlier, asking if they wanted to spend their money for a new library. Now, many people told me you were crazy to put it on the ballot, because what happens if the people reject that question? I told those people that I had full faith and trust in their judgment, that is the taxpayers, and that our community is just that, a community. And I know that the citizens would do whatever it took, obviously, to get a library, and our citizens were very, very generous. Well, I guess for once in my life I was right, because they voted for a library. Overwhelmingly, like I said, a little over 64% of the voters voted to approve this new facility. After the bond was passed, that was the easy work. Now came the most difficult part. We had $3 million to spend, and we wanted a first-class building, and of course we needed land. And I knew we needed land all the while, and I said that's going to cut into the $3 million. And I thought about this spot we're standing on. I just drove by it. It was kind of woodsy, and it was really, we owned it, and we weren't doing anything with it. So what I did was I called upon Tom Leonardo, who's been our architect for 11 years. Tom, you don't get a pension or anything like that, even though you've been around a long time. Okay. And I told him that we needed a state-of-the-art library, and it was going to be on a difficult piece of land, to say the least. Like I said, Tom had been with us for about 11 years, and he stuck with us, and I appreciate his faith and trust in our town. Next, we had to find a project manager who knew the meaning of do not overspend and no change orders that cost money. And we found that ideal person who helped us build a new fire station and did a great job with that. And he's here today, and that's Eric Alberg. Eric? Right, thank you. And Eric also donated a $500 donation to help us with the furniture, and I thank you for that. You're very generous. Thank you so much. To Tom and Eric, you dedicated your lives for over a year to this project, and it shows. So on behalf of the citizens of the town, I thank you. And I want to thank you both personally for your faith and trust in this administration. Your hard work, blood, sweat, tears, and my complaints really paid off. Now you can change your cell phone number, because I won't call you. I used to call them all the time and drive by on a Sunday and say, Tom, Eric, why aren't they working? I said, Mayor, it's Sunday. Okay, we wanted to get this done, but you can change your number. I don't need it anymore. Just kidding. This beautiful new building will carry us for the next 50 or 60 years, as our old Mary Mohr Library did. But this new building in those years will touch hundreds of thousands of lives, both young and old. To the Mohr family, we thank you so very much for your generosity and your vision to our town. If you did not extend your generosity and your vision, we may not have been here today. This new building will represent what our town is all about. Caring, compassionate, open, and friendly, and dedicated to its citizens. We as a community will be judged by what we have left behind for our future. As I look at this building behind us, on behalf of the residents, the staff, the board members, the friends of the library, all of the elected officials, I think we've left a proud legacy of our future.